Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a brand new episode of Rants with Dez, aka Dez Rant. Happy Thursday through Wednesday, evening, night, morning, and afternoon. All I gotta say is Eddie, the editor, does a pretty good job of me in front of the camera when he did that earlier, didn't he, guys? It was pretty damn good. So
Wow.
tonight we have Mr. Rogers. How's it going there, sir?
Good. How you doing, Des?
Another day in paradise, brother. We have Corn Bob, which is new to the YouTube on this page. How's it going there, Corn Bob? We got Gaserve. How's it going, Gaserve?
Everything's okie dokie. What's going on?
Another day in paradise. How about yourself there, North?
I'm doing pretty good.
And of course, we got Eddie the editor, which is making sure our sound is sounding real nice. So as we start off, Eddie, so how's it going? Oh, good. So as we get started, Mr. Rogers, you got some fun facts for us?
I may, Des. All right. Did you know it is illegal to own one guinea pig in Switzerland?
Only one?
Do you know why? You have to have more than one. It's illegal only just have one.
Why?
What? Wait. What is it? What kind of pig is
Because
it?
this is abuse to the animal and each company. I had no idea. I didn't know they were that independent or dependent on another guinea pig. You have to have a minimum of two, or you face a federal actual crime.
Is it because they need a maid as well?
No, they said just abuse because they need another guinea pig or something, some sort of company. But I'm like, why's it gotta be another guinea pig? Fuck Switzerland, I don't know. All right. Also, this is a fun one. Why do we call it raise a toast? Here's a toast.
No idea.
Here's a toast too. So the Romans, back in their good old days, they said to drop a little piece of bread into their wine, and that's when the cheers, and then that comes to the here's a toast.
Ha! Son of an
Isn't that interesting? Animal fact here. Where do you think oceanic now? Like a little shrimp. Where do you think the heart is?
Stomach. Wait.
Anybody?
Huh?
Not the tail.
So the heart is in the head. There is actually no real like internal organs, and so that's why it's able to do what it can do. Heart's in the head.
Huh.
And that's it.
That is pretty effed up.
And then North might appreciate this one. Hopefully you don't have any right now, but you know nutmeg is an hallucinogen.
Really?
Yep. Taken in large quantities. I didn't exactly care to research how much you need to take to get crazy, but it causes all kinds of crazy stuff like shrooms. Just nutmeg. Because there's something called, what's it called? Myristin that's in nutmeg. And that's a natural hallucinogen.
Did not know that one either.
I learned
All right.
there.
You need to consume 10 grams of nutmeg to trip balls.
Yeah.
Good times. That's actually doable.
Not
I'll try it.
Freaking crazy.
You want me to try it one of these nights?
yes.
Hey, do you guys know what a lethal dose of psilocybin mushrooms is?
No.
How much you need to
What's
take
that?
for it to be lethal?
How much?
Yes.
Are we talking grams?
You take it in grams, but
Yeah.
how much do you think you would need to take for it to kill you?
A shit ton.
I imagine a lot.
Tree.
40 pounds.
Oh!
Yeah.
Wow! Yeah.
I don't even know if you could eat all
So if I
that.
weigh 100 pounds, am I 40% shrimp?
Yes.
That's
Yes, you are.
Why do I feel like if you ate 40 pounds of anything all at once, you would die?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
good
a
point, Corn Bob.
That's yeah.
That might be
yeah.
the trigger.
Oh man, good times.
It's
That's
not
why
even it's not even the shrooms that kill you. It's the just the mass of
The
eating.
amount of
Well,
food you're putting in there.
you would have to make it make sense there for a second because, like, let's say you're basing this on like the weight of a person because that's how the gram dosages go, right? So if you're basing it on, let's say, a tinier person, so a 130-pound person, which isn't logical, right? They would need approximately, by that math,
No.
about almost 4 pounds of dried mushrooms,
That's still a lot.
right?
Fit Andre the Giant and
Which
Eagle
would
Eye
just
could've pulled it
about be around the 40-pound mark, which would be about like 37 pounds of fresh mushroom compared to dried mushroom.
Oh no,
And then
you're eating those
by the way
dry.
that the volatility would go inside the stomach, like your body would probably throw it all up. So like you probably wouldn't even
Yeah.
get that high of a marker unless you forced it down and like really went crazy on it.
Yeah, no, the 40-pound thing and the whole.
Maybe they're doing
Well,
a
I guess the whole
chemistry
point of
experiment.
that
We
was
don't
just
know.
it's impossible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not even logical, like even just for the parameters,
Right.
because that would be 40 pounds fresh though. Like dry, it would obviously go down like because it's condensed. So it's just to even get there, it's insane. Like you would just start projectile vomiting by that point.
Oh man.
That's what I'm saying. Even
I'll have a nutmeg.
yeah, just go with the nutmeg.
My last one.
Great analysis, Conserve.
The Tinder. You guys have all heard of Tinder, right?
Mm-mm.
Uh,
Never heard of Tinder in my life.
Okay, cool. You know what the best break day is? You know what it is?
What?
In 2014, 2 people in Antarctica met up on Tinder.
were they brother and
She
sister?
was 45-minute helicopter ride away from the guy that she
Were they-
met, and they found out they were both in Antarctica. They hooked up and got married, I guess.
I was gonna say they were not
Were they
brother or
lesbians?
sister.
Was it a penguin? I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, really, 2 people in it. They're like sitting.
Well, the
around,
dude
doing
probably
their
got
thing.
the dude probably got the dude probably got sick of fucking penguins, and he was just like, "Oh, there's a woman here." He didn't care what
What
she
if
looked
the
like.
radius like 3,000 miles?
Yeah, but
Right,
you're
like
in
it's just
Antarctica.
like-
Everyone's 3,000 miles away. You can't. No, if you're in Antarctica and someone's 3,000 miles away, you can't really complain.
Oh man.
Right. They're 45 minutes away, and they're both on Tinder going, "Hi, I'm looking for someone, in the States or whatever," and they end up meeting each other. That's ridiculously cool.
They're going to get
But
some
I'm
ice.
like, wouldn't you know of each other already? I'm pretty sure everybody knows everybody in Antarctica. Like a small town.
They're all related.
Places everywhere.
That's the
the
Sturge County
cabin's over
syndrome.
There's the base. Jimmy Town runs that.
That's
Just you'd think. I don't know. Antarctica's an interesting place, though.
so.
I mean, if you
So
think about it, it's actual landmass underneath it.
when it comes to those places, like what is the daylight like in those areas anyway? How much sunlight do they get?
Depends time of year.
Because isn't
Yeah.
like
We still get sunlight and stuff. But it's not like it's like the same myth about Alaska and the Arctic. There's no real night times. It's maybe a week, but it's still pretty much there's light still in the distance. So I believe it's a lot like that. I never stepped around in Antarctica.
it's one of those things where that would suck during those winter months when it stays dark pretty much the whole damn time. Boy, shit. Talking about dark moments.
Moving on to Supernatural, fellas.
What's supernatural?
I love Supernatural. I watched them last night. Not gonna lie. This is like my 5th time. Actually, let's be honest, it's like more than my 10th time watching some of these episodes. I love Supernatural. It's a good show. So, with that said, now let's go to the next topic at hand. This one is going to be Mr. Rogers and Conserve to get it started. The Bitcoin tariffs thing.
All right. So, Conserve, you want to start this off?
It's all you, brother. Take it away. Go for it.
All right. So Bitcoin. I'm not sure if you guys, have been following the market and stuff, especially as of late. Bitcoin's dropped dramatically. Like, was it over 100,000 now? I think it was at 82 last I checked. I don't know what the market did at the end of the day today, but ridiculous. So Bitcoin, everybody's freaking out now because there's some new information about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. It's gonna be supposedly coming in our direct currency, supposedly. And all this, that's why Bitcoin jumped so high. I have something called Pi that I just automatically mine. Des, I think you know about that. They finally went public, and I didn't pay a dime for it. And it transferred my wallet and stuff, and it's a ton of money. But Bitcoin right now, everybody's freaking out to drop so much. And the reason they're saying Bitcoin dropped is just because there's too many other cryptocurrencies supposedly out there. Plus, other countries are hacking the system, which I don't really believe. Conserve, you have any comments on that?
So I put it in the chat for you there. So according to the aggregate, and just looking at everything, Bitcoin's price fell by 1.4%, dropping to around $83,000 as of today, right? So what I'm noticing, and this is just my take, people are just making money based upon the hedge they're doing, as it was a decentralized market. So they have to convert their fiat currency into the digital market, and then they're using a fixed note. So based upon the traditional market, the way we have it, right? If you look at it from the basic lines of economics, inflation and deflation have inverted definitions. So if you're inflating something, that means that there's too much of something inside the market. If you're deflating something, there's very little of something inside the market. I'll give you the example.
Simple economics.
If I wanted a Koenigsegg Allegera, right? That car is worth multiple millions of dollars. But if I wanted to buy a Chevy Malibu, the Chevy Malibu is what, 26 to 30 grand? Why is there a difference in the car? A car is a car. It has an engine, it's got seats, it's got a chassis, it's got wheels. It's the same thing. So why are two things separated by price? Well, a Koenigsegg Allegera has greater standard and quality, and also it has limited production value. So let's say there's only 10 of them in the world. It's rated that high because there's only 10 in the world. Compared to the Chevy Malibu that has over 100,000 production vehicles in the world. So you're looking at not only supply and demand, the actual value of production. And then the more you're able to produce something, that's called volumization, over the time of volumization, things are going to cost less to make, which means that you can have a difference in your marketing plan and know how much a price of cost of good is going to be. So people said, well, look how shitty the American market is. They keep inflating the dollar. The price of the dollar keeps going down. But because we have a finite amount of Bitcoin, which is only like 21 million Bitcoins in the world, period, it won't go past that because they capped it out. I know that I could take my digital gold at this point and say that my money is now worth more because the digital asset is greater than the currency that was used to buy it. And that's the system. So now that he's saying, I want to wipe out a portion of that debt, I want to rescale, resize, recalibrate everything. And now you're looking at the SEC that they dropped the lawsuit against Ripple, I believe, which is XRP, right? His new SEC guy and his new FTC guy are both big on Bitcoin and the crypto market. So now they're going to be making regulatory changes that way. So now everything's going to start flowing back because you want more fiat currency in order to buy more Bitcoin. The people that are doing nefarious stuff, that gets shut down because they're looking at inter-party lines because everything gets checked across the blockchain. So now the people that have been hacking the blockchain or figuring out how to interfere with the blockchain, they're getting pushed out. And those people that have been bloating the blockchain are now getting what? Kicked down. So what are you seeing? You're seeing the price fall by 1%, which is nothing. And it dropped around $83,000. So that's a huge valuation difference. So if they were pumping it up to over 100K,
because it was over 100, yeah.
It's 100K a Bitcoin, right? So if I looked it up right now, what's the current price of Bitcoin?
Yeah.
which I don't have
I
off the
saw
top of
it
my
at
head.
82 is the last time I checked. It might be 83 now.
Yeah, it's 83. So that's exactly where it went. So we're technically looking at the what, a 20K drop.
Yep, roughly.
So it's not half as bad as it is, but the price in total is 83,000. So if you're looking at the market correction, that is the market correction. That is the market correction that's going through, because you're seeing it transitively inside the stock market. So even though he's putting out tariffs,
there's any
the stock market is taking the shift. Go ahead. What's up? No, go ahead.
No, I said, do you see any correlation with Bitcoin and the tariffs, crypto or anything? Like, there's a lot of correlation. Like, I saw Apple losing their mind today with the tariffs. Verizon's trying to give out deals. Oil companies trying to figure out what futures are going to be. Like, the whole spin, and the Trump administration's saying, yeah, we figured there's gonna happen.
Because they're making bullshit happen. And I'll tell you why. So in the, what was it? Around 2020 or so, I believe that it was either 2019 or 2020, China decided they were going to pull out of the crypto market. And China was very big and bullish on crypto. So these things are just changing through. And now you have other countries wanting to create the digital dollar. Now it became a race about the digital dollar. Now everyone backed out about the digital dollar. So now, no longer wanting to have a digital currency, and they don't want to have that anymore. Now it's about having a currency-related war game about who's going to have the strongest economy using crypto. Come back around full circle into the strategic market itself. Do your analysis on a comp across the board. You're going to find that everybody is trying to leverage themselves or deleverage themselves based upon the market that they're in. So if you're looking at something like Apple, where have they been leveraged? In China.
Exactly.
And now all these companies, like Apple
about
specifically, have been offshoring billions of dollars. So during the first Trump administration, if you track it, what ended up happening? He said, we're going to do a whole bunch of this. We're going to boost the economy. We're going to do this, do that. They had no choice but to pull their offshore money and put it back into the economy. And that's what's happening. So they're all pissed off because now they're saying, oh, well, our get out of jail free bag of money that we were holding offshore, we now have to surrender that again into the American economy to help out we the people. And that's why they're pissed. Exactly. It's not that they're losing out on anything, because they just keep betting on overseas markets. Instead, bring it back over here.
I agree.
The intellectual property.
Look at the tariffs that Canada has just on everything for us. You know, just look at the tariffs on Canada. I think what was chicken, like 236%? Or whatever the hell it was. But I mean, I understand like they only have a certain amount of goods they can, send over. One, it's Canada. Unless their polar bears become legal to hunt. But look at all the tariffs that are imposed on the U.S. is what I'm getting at as well. And everybody's losing their mind over 25% when there's hundreds of percentage points out there for a lot of countries. I understand that third world countries are going to hurt the most. They just are.
Yeah. All I gotta say is that lady. She one of two options. Hey, that lady is one of two options. She's just lost some money in the stock market, or she really got to take a big shit. That's all I got to say. Look at her teeth, the way she was grinding.
I thought that was the chick that was.
She was part of that big crypto fraud.
Oh, really?
They said that there was a mathematician chick that took down the whole ring. And that's the picture of the girl that they put up back in the day. So was that actually his girlfriend, or was that just the girl that took down his crypto ring?
They had sex.
They got it on. No, they didn't. They did.
They were touching the naughty bits? Oh, wow. What was that? Like a fucking Fievel rendition? That was terrible.
Oh, so let's continue on. I just had to say that because her teeth grinding like that, it was like it was really grinding her gears. I tell you what. I had to say
that's the kind of those are the kind of goblins that are stealing our crypto, dude. We got to stop them.
That's true. I mean, he was already like crapped out, but I mean, he funneled so much money through his FTC exchange for Act Blue and for Democrats going overseas. They caught that, and then his parents are so heavily loaded that they had the juice all the way in the judiciary so that he didn't get hit. So he basically got get out of jail free card. He had all the monopoly money pegged in his way. But I was pulling this up for you guys, which is the on my screen there. It's about Canada. So everyone's talking about, oh, look at these crazy tariffs. Look at what's going on. But if you take a look at what was going on with Canada and China, Canada made accusations that China was trying to screw around with their EV. And they were trying to overinflate the market and dominate the market with their EVs. And some of the China EVs are actually pretty cool looking. They have great stability options and whatnot. But it seems like it's just like a crappy thing. But China's heavily bullish right now on the car market. Okay. If no one's been following it, it's been happening. China's investing in Mexico. They're trying to get all the rare materials from all around the world. And they're just trying to get into making every single car on the planet. So everybody knows that everybody needs a vehicle. China's trying to lead the charge in that. So Canada felt that their trade agreement wasn't good. So Canada decides to put 100% tariff on all electric vehicles manufactured in China, right? China comes back around and says, hey, how about you guys go fuck yourself? We buy a lot from you in regards to your agricultural products. So then China went back with a reciprocal tariff and said, every single one of your agricultural products that you're going to send over, you're going to have to pay 100% tariff on. And that's
if
what
I drove that, I'd kill myself. Seriously, if I'm driving that, you guys have
This is the bullish market that Conserv is talking about. The Chinese people, they don't mess around when it comes to EV design. All right, this is breaking technology.
That is probably the most energy efficient electric vehicle you will ever see. It probably weighs like, dude, you could probably pick that shit up.
Okay, look at the Chinese guy. You know, he's
smiling.
So
no, like seriously, like dude, look, seriously, I think two of us could pick that up easily.
I'm just going to tell you, now, the only
I
lesson
would
to learn from this
in the back of my truck and say, "Hey, I got a toy for the kid."
Pretty much.
That does look like.
To know about this is never fart in a smart car. That's it. That's your only takeaway on this thing.
Okay.
Because
the only takeaway,
you guys remember Family Matters, the show Family Matters with Steve Urkel?
This thing is a fart box, dude.
Remember that little 3-wheel drive car he had?
About the same size.
With like a wheel in the front and 2 in the back, and that's what it reminds me of.
Oh man.
A party in the front with a handle in the back? Absolutely. Let's go mullet.
Like, where are the doors in this thing? I mean, like, the picture's kind of weird, but, like, you just, like, suicide in or what?
I don't think it is doors. I think you just step on that step and get in.
Back there.
Okay, all right. Somebody
you got this little handle.
I don't know who just was talking, but I couldn't hear shit you just said.
Stupid solar flares.
Oh fuck!
Pretty much what it is.
Somebody sounded like somebody was on auto tune for a second.
It did.
I'm getting T-Pain.
Yeah, that was me.
Trying to keep things fun.
Okay, let's. Do we have more? Do we want to talk about this, or should we go to the next topic at hand?
No, that's good.
Okay,
I would like to just bring up.
Otherwise, we'll be on that one for an hour. Let's go to the Anthony Edwards one. We're gonna do one between the two.
Oh. Okay, for it. All right.
Are you gonna talk about his child support situation?
Yes, I find this interesting. So Anthony Edwards, he's 23 years old. I can't remember if he's a rookie or a sophomore in the NBA. Where do I start with this shit? So he knocked this chick up, who's 38 years old. She has 2 kids. One is by Chief Keef, which is a rapper, and the other one's by Little Baby, which is a rapper. She has custody. So he gave her a plan B She didn't. She told him she told him she was on birth control. Wasn't on birth control. Then gave her a plan B. She didn't take it.
Oh.
Then he gave her $100,000 to get an abortion. Took the 100,000, never got it.
Oh.
So this man, this man decided, and I think this was brilliant. He said, "Okay, $5,000 a month, 18 years. Here you go. Cast her the fuck out. The whole 18 years, right?" And I think this was a good move because she was trying to spite him, and now she's getting it right back because now she's gonna think about all the taxes about to get taken out of that. She's
right.
getting fucked right back, and he signed his rights away, and she has absolutely no recourse for this. She
That's
can't
awesome.
do anything. But I mean, but it makes sense though. Think about it. This is the end of his rookie contract, right? So she was waiting till he signed a new contract. She was gonna up that child support, pay all that shit off, bro. Pay all of it off. I'm telling you, that was the smartest thing I've ever seen before.
That's
Good way to
awesome.
make good move. I mean, both parties, to be honest, yeah, mine's the taxes, but if you get a lump sum, you can make more interest.
Dude, but for a 23-year-old to make that decision, that was smart. Because he could have been like, "Oh, I'll just pay the child support, whatever. Fuck it. I'm making millions of dollars." And I'm like, that's one blown out need.
That is
That's
true.
one blown out need until now you can't make that $5,000. And it's gonna go up after that. Because you just on a rookie contract right now. So once you get your full scale and he's like one of the stars of the Timberwolves. So he's gonna get paid. So it makes sense. Pay that shit now. Now you get all your money later.
Exactly. That's actually a very good
And
idea.
you know, though, too, he's still going to take care of the kid and say, have a kid and, do whatever.
Well, no,
He signed the rights
okay,
over.
listen, hold on. He said
No,
no. He told her. No, hold on. She told him she was on birth control. She lied. He told her he didn't want the kid. Gave her a plan B. She didn't take it. He said, "I'll give you $100,000 to go get an abortion." She took the $100,000 and didn't get it. He doesn't want the kid. He signed the rights away. He's like, "Fuck the kid. I didn't want this shit. I just wanted some pussy that night." And sorry, excuse me.
It's not for children anyway.
and she did this to him. And she really thought, look, she's already got 2 kids by 2 rappers, dude. You know what she's on.
She's a whore.
Yeah.
It's not covered.
No, she's doing it for money. She's doing it for money.
Both.
That's the definition of a whore.
Des, don't act like you want to do the same if you were in his situation.
That was just. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I wish I'd have been that fucking smart back in the day. Shit.
Getting jiggy with it. Nah.
No, but I seriously, I find that interesting. I know none of y'all care about sports ball, and that's fine. But I find it interesting that he would actually think about that.
NCAA here. Come on, Houston.
Wait, what?
Houston, NCAA, man.
Oh, I don't really follow it.
That March Madness. How far are they actually into the tournament anyway? It's got to be getting pretty close.
Done this weekend.
Already? Shit.
Well, I hope so. They call it March Madness, and it's April already.
Yeah.
Speaking of April Fools, Mother Nature's really son of a nutcracker right now, huh? Freaking snowstorm.
Dude, fuck our weather right now. It'd be sunny at like 50. The next day it's snowing. The next day it's sunny. The next day it's raining. Fuck this weather, dude.
What do you think Earth's trying to tell us?
Earth's trying to tell us you guys are gay.
Well, we'll be talking about that a little bit later with the LGBTQ, but that's a little bit later.
Yeah, I'll bring that up.
No, the weather it's funky right now with the weather and everything going on. Remember how you guys It's just insane. Des, what's the next topic? Is it the
Okay,
universe or-
universal
Yeah.
expectation. Yeah, that your next topic there, Mr. Rogers.
Okay. So as we were talking before, ladies and gentlemen, before we had on air here, we were talking a little bit about this, about some solar flares that are going on. Excuse me. And it's affecting a lot of technology and a lot of just different little things you don't really realize. It affects a few things that might. But this is a universal. There's solar flares. Could be a sun, 3 light years away that we can get flares from. My question is to you guys, like the universe, right? It's an expanding evolutional thing I don't really quite understand. What do you guys think? Do you think? Here's my question. I always think that we're in some kids' aquarium as a science project. What do you guys think? What is started over at least 15 times? Kid messed up a few times.
Yeah, those are called extinctions.
The universe or Earth?
Because the dinosaurs was one of them. Then it started over again. You're probably right. It's probably done more than once. It's probably started over more than once.
Well, there was a giant flood 5.6 million years ago that created the Pillars of Heracles and the Dead Sea. That's when it was a freshwater lake.
Yep.
And then between 5 and 6 million years ago, there was a giant flood that just filled that whole area.
Shit.
And created the Pillars of Heracles. 12, what was it? 12, the Younger Dryas. But massive kind of that's, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Younger Dryas or Graham Hancock, Ancient Apocalypse.
I'm slightly familiar with it. I'm not gonna say I know too much about it, but I know what you're talking about. Let me ask you this. Wait, hold on. Let me ask you this. What do you think about the Eye of Africa? Do you think that's Atlantis?
No, that's not Atlantis. Atlantis was out in the
that was
Atlantic. Look at Iceland on the map and follow the fault line down through the Azores. That's where Atlantis was the Azores, Portugal.
Okay, well, what do you think the Eye of it? What do you think the Eye of Africa was then?
A collapsed volcano. A collapsed volcano makes the most sense. There could have been some kind of city there, similar to Atlantis, like a lot of those people think, that could be buried under there. Because, my opinion, a lot of people when they're talking about that ancient apocalypse stuff, there's people that say it was a comet. There's people that are like, it was a comet, an airburst or whatever, and that's what caused everything. There's people that say it was coronal mass ejections from the sun. That's what caused stuff in Egypt, like rocks to be burnt and stuff like that. And then there's a couple other theories on different earthquakes, volcanoes, that kind of stuff. But people always subscribe to this one theory on it, it was a comet, or it was a volcano, or it was an earthquake. And my whole thing is look around the world right now. You don't think maybe it could have been all of the above, and that's why it was so destructive?
One hell of thing at one time. An ultimate event, you could say.
Right.
Well, it doesn't even have to be at one time. All of those things happening over the course of a couple hundred years, or even 1,000 years, would just
well, that's the thing.
There's this evidence on the seafloor. On the seafloor, there's evidence of the water, and it makes zebra stripes in the ocean on the floor. Do you know why that is? They were puzzled. It's because the North and South poles will change magnetic.
Yeah.
Changing the to go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
It happens every 500,000 years or something like that.
Well, that's another one. The poles drift constantly, but the sun's magnetic poles just flipped recently. I think it was it was either 2023 or 2024. The magnetic north became like what we would perceive as the south, right? They just switched. And that's like
No,
ours.
they didn't. I wouldn't say they completely switched, but no. If you hold on. There's proof of this. There's proof of this. There's proof of this. Go and what? Why do you think they changed the numbers on runways on airlines? Like when you land,
The pole
they
drift.
changed the numbers. Yes, because that's what that is a compass thing. That's how you know how to line up with it. So they have to keep changing them because the shit's drifting.
And it's accelerating since 2000. It has
No, seriously,
accelerated.
look that shit up. He's not wrong. Look it up. I'm not saying it's like flipped over like that, but
no, and I'm not saying
it doesn't happen like that exactly. Yeah.
So, like right now, right? Scientists think they have not. I don't think they've confirmed it yet. I haven't seen anything where they confirmed it, but they either think that the core, our liquid iron core, has either slowed down drastically or possibly stopped rotating at all.
So what is that?
Well, you know, to me,
just a comment real quick on that. I read that, and it switches. They found out it slows down and then switches the rotation process.
Oh, like it starts like goes from counterclockwise to clockwise. Just that, you know,
those are things they think happen.
And then
and
nothing's
guys,
proven. Obviously, we haven't been down there.
You familiar with plate tectonics?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the mantle is kind of floating on the inner parts of the earth, right? We have this crust layer that the crust, the man that's floating on the mantle or whatever. I forget all the words they use. But anyways, so if that core stops spinning, right, or slows down or stops and reverses, as it's slowing down and stopping, the Earth's magnetic field weakens. That's happening along with these, which when that happens and you have coronal mass ejection or the sun burps or anything like that, it's going to affect us a lot more. So those things are happening right now. Now, there's also scientists that believe that we haven't been around for this. It would be, but if any of you are Christians and have read the book of Revelations, there's a spot in there where they talk about 4 angels holding back the 4 winds and all this stuff. And to me, that stuff sounds a lot like it reminds me of what scientists believe happen when the pole shifts, when there's when that iron core stops and reverses its direction is probably the catalyst for what happens or what causes it. But the crust moves on the mantle. So what's now the North Pole could move to the equator, right? Like it's this big shift that happens. And there's proof that these things have happened over time because any rock that forms, when a rock forms, it holds on to what magnetic north was when it formed. So if you put a compass over a rock that formed at 2 different rocks that formed at 2 different times when the pole was in different locations, it will give you a different magnetic reading, like reading for magnetic north if you put it over that rock.
Yeah, that was a lot to take in that short period of time. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh man. So
welcome to Earth, everybody.
Plus, there's another thing. The volcano, Yellowstone, is overdue also for eruption. That's another fun fact that could happen. Hey, Mr. Rogers, you'll be
California's overdue for a giant earthquake by about 50 years, like massive earthquake.
Imagine that they
volcanoes going in Hawaii, volcanoes going in Iceland, earthquakes in Myanmar.
That's what I'm saying.
Turkey.
They don't even need to do the HARP shit or none of that shit. Just let it fucking happen.
We're gonna have snow to kill our volcano right now. We're good.
Well, they could use this is where HARP could be a good thing, right? And controlling all these things could be a really good thing, because if we understand these processes and how they work and what order they go, in the future with technology, we could control all these movements so that the movements don't happen. Like the one in Myanmar, it was a horizontal slip. There was nothing vertical. So those plates were a horizontal slip. So if you had two things sitting right next to each other, so if you had one tree on either side of that fault line that were right next to each other, they would have been, I think it was like 12 or 21 feet, something like that. A 2 and a 1 sticks in my head.
It just stunk. Like it just stunk.
No, it didn't sink.
Yeah,
they did like this, right? Like your where's your camera?
There, right
okay,
there.
so fault lines, nothing vertical,
tree.
nothing like this, just this.
Yep.
I can't barely see you. You're like this big.
Well, it's Eddie.
Yeah, they slid. It was it's not like one is subducting or one plate is going under the other one.
They just slid. They slid.
Yeah.
They went.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I get it now. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So that.
And you know that we have a similar fault line here in the United States, right?
Yeah, right through the middle.
The New Madrid fault line. It made Mississippi flow backwards in 1895.
Holy shit! Really?
That's due for one too.
Oh bloody hell!
No, we have a massive fault line in the United States, a massive one. I mean, it's plus the Rockies, the Appalachians, but this one is different than the Rockies. Appalachian is doing this. Rockies are doing this. This is what he was saying. This.
Yep.
Right in the middle of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we get earthquakes in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Good times.
And you can even feel the ones on the other side of the world if you're quiet enough.
Oh man, Crazy Bugger told me a story.
You got to remember, it's all connected. And when you're when you're moving an entire continental plate,
yep,
all of it's gonna.
So like the West Coast, the plate line, it's in the ocean, right? On the West Coast, or is it actually
comes in through California?
Oh, son of a nutcracker!
You ever heard of San Andreas Fault?
I've heard of it, but I'm not sure where the heck it is. I knew it was either right in the ocean or on the land. I wasn't actually.
They keep saying California's gonna flop, brother.
Well, tear dropped to my glass eye. No, California, we're just joking. Get your panties all in a bunch. This is YouTube, not Instagram. It's like one of those things where. So, when it comes down to it, are we done with that topic, or did you want to add any more? Okay, let's go to the gay topic at hand.
Hold on, I got one for you. I got one for you before that.
Okay.
So this is something that I've seen, and I'm trying to do like a little bit of like workaround research on the back end. So this is interesting. Ford just comes out and says they're going to do this whole new PR campaign. They're going to have a whole new marketing slogan that it's from America, for America, so that anybody that buys a Ford vehicle, they get employee pricing. We want to make sure that Ford vehicles are made in America and that Americans are buying Ford vehicles and so on and so forth. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I was like, well, there's been a lot of controversy along with Ford. I mean, their buying history, the way that they go about their stuff, and what's it all talking about? So when I come over and I look at this, again, this is Brave. This is AI Leo. Like, take it with a grain of salt. You know, it says right here, AI generated answers. Please verify certain facts. So from what it's summarizing here, based upon everything that it's been reading, it's saying that, if I can maybe bring this up a little bit bigger for you guys, does that work? Is that a little bit easier?
Yeah,
wonderful.
We can actually read.
So Ford Motor Company launched this campaign right? And they came out today. This is what they're doing. And if we notice, what is the one big thing that we want? But what's the one big thing that they're not giving us? This deal is available in 2024 and 2025 hybrid, plug-in hybrid, diesel, and gas-powered Ford and Lincoln vehicles. However, it excludes the 2025 Expedition, the Navigator, SUVs, the Raptors, and the Super Duty trucks. So the one things that the majority of Americans rely on, because we have families and shit, and we like doing things, they won't allow you to have the discount on that. But for all of their crappy cars from the other side, and that's my opinion that they're crappy cars, with the hybrids or the plug-in hybrid, some of their diesel trucks are actually really good. Like they have great working diesel trucks. And obviously the gas.
Let's not talk about the V10 right now.
Oh, by the way, you're not getting a diesel that's not a Super Duty.
Right. So like things have to add up. So they won't allow you to have this, but they want you to partially get a credit on this. So basically, what is it saying? Like a biodiesel engine? Like I'm still not sure what's going on here. So then I was going to go ahead and ask some follow-up questions. So I'm looking around, and I go over here. So I'm like, the last thing I was thinking about, sorry, I have to share the different tab. Last time I heard, Ford decided to leave multiple times. So I'm like, what are you really getting at here? Like, they haven't been in America for a while. They haven't been doing anything for the American people for a while. So I'm just curious, like, what's going on? So they're saying that this is when Trump left, right? Trump left in 2020, and Biden came in. The second Trump left, Ford announced plans to resume manufacturing in its Hermosillo plant in Mexico.
I remember that.
You want to know what this is? I can save you some time.
What's the interesting part on all this?
This is all lip service just to get people, stupid people, which works. This works. It'll work. Stupid people that are America, America, America first. I'm American, motherfucker. They're going to go buy Fords now because they're not going to look at any of the stupid shit. And the people at the Ford dealerships will be like, yeah, Ford's doing this thing where we're giving everybody, blah, blah, blah. It's all lip service, man. And a bunch of idiots are going to buy it and do it.
Oh, that is awesome.
But they're built for tough, bro. Hold on. Wait. But no, you guys are forgetting. They're built for tough.
Yeah, so they hit a pebble and they break down.
Sorry, you're right, North.
I have a Ford. Right. I don't mind it, but it's like saying anything is military grade. They say it's military grade.
Oh, dude,
you can run.
Every fucking like ex-military person I talk to, they're like, military grade doesn't mean shit. That shit's garbage. They're like, no, seriously, this dude told me, he was like, do you have any idea? He was like, think about this. If we can only get our shit from one fucking factory, how good is our shit and how much do we get of it? Think about it.
No, it's all GM.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
He was like, you only get it from one place, so you can't.
Grade, I'm like,
and he
bring duct tape. Okay.
No, but dude was telling me, he was like, think about it. It's military grade, so that means if something breaks, you got to get it from military grade, like the piece or whatever you need to fix it. You got to get it from a military grade manufacturer.
Military, or if the military uses this, it's tough, it's good, it's strong, it can endure stuff. It's like, okay, one, if you buy a Humvee with more than like 15,000 miles on it, I think it's a piece of crap because it's 20 years old. My Fun V overseas in my first deployment had 54,000 miles on it. This thing had no brakes. The e-brake didn't work. We had no doors and a hood by the end of the deployment. We had that thing was just a piece. And my buddy and I would also say, like, military grade, huh? Yeah, really working out.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of Jeep, right?
Jam this so we can slow it down.
Isn't that the whole point of Jeep? Just enough essential parts.
Yeah.
That's
it.
it.
One thing I will say about the Humvee, they're freaking easy to work on. There's no electronics, basically.
I feel like the word Jeep came from Jerry.
Jerry
Remember, no,
Seinfeld.
no. Like in World War II, they called the Germans Jerrys, and then they Jerry. That's where jerry rig
Jimmy's. We
comes
call
from.
them Jimmy's. Jimmy's.
Jimmy, whatever.
Jimmy
But
rig.
that's where jerry rig. That's where jerry rig comes from. Is when they steal their shit.
Yep,
What was that? The
Jerry
sloppy
rig.
cousin? The Jerry was the sloppy
It's
cousin.
Jimmy. They used to be called Jimmy, I believe.
Yeah, it's a
And
Jimmy
you
rig.
might be right. Yeah, Jimmy rigging, jerry rigging. But
Yeah,
no, that's
call
where that
them
comes
Jimmy's.
from,
Those
though.
things are awesome.
Exactly.
Those
How's
ones are
I was thinking the same thing that the editor was thinking, actually. We're just not going to say it on here.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm going to bring you to the next point over here about everything, because when you actually look at it, I thought that the Biden economy was really strong and really good. I thought like everybody was like really like there's so many jobs being pumped in, and like everybody's just going to work, and like we just have all these people here and they're just doing the work. So then according to this, then why did in August 22 they announced layoffs for 3,000 employees mixed between US, Canada, and India?
Well, okay, I can tell you that. I can tell you why. I can tell you why. I can tell you exactly why. I can tell you exactly why that happened in
I know the
2022.
answer. It's not about the answer. It's just showing how much full of shit they are that they don't care about the American worker, because these are families. So every
but that's
single
money.
dad and every single mom that went to work in these plants, they shit
But-
can them. They don't get their benefits. They don't get
Bro.
their health care. They don't get their money. They don't get their livelihood. So what happened to their kids? What happened to those towns? What happened to all the environments in Michigan that weren't allowed to thrive and survive because they relied on the money from those plants?
Whose fault was that?
Democrats.
The Democrats.
Okay, so fuck we arguing.
I know the reason why. I'm just showing like this is the proof in the pudding that these people don't give a shit. So they're trying to show everybody that it's going off.
Let's focus. Hold on. I want to focus a little bit more. It's not just the Democrats. It's the fact that they went to these fucking electric vehicles, and you have to make electric vehicles. And if you make electric vehicles, we'll subsidize you and shit. That's the problem. It's not that Ford is just being little bitches and shit. It's that, and I'm not trying to defend Ford at all. They're just trying to make money. But my point is that they literally incentivized them to do it. So
what do you mean?
they incentivized them to make EV vehicles.
Oh, of course, but that's only a portion of it. So then if we come here into Trump's first term, again, I'm just showing you this because this actually happened. They then backed out of it in 2017. So in 2016, Ford had a proposal for $1.6 billion to go to Mexico to build a plant in Mexico.
Yeah.
So they had $1.6 billion to build a plant, but they refused to build it here in America. Instead, then they decided to say, let's not spend all of that money. So they only spent $700 million instead on a flat rock plant. So then they created jobs. So they fired people, but then they created jobs back on it. So did they really create any jobs, or did they just shift people around, or just say
they just replace jobs? I get what you're saying.
It talks about like how it goes in and out and on and off, right? It talks about. Yeah. I asked it specific questions like how Trump did his things and going here and there. So then I asked it a question over here, and it gave me like two separate responses now based upon what I was going with. And it was more so about the fact of like, so why did you omit certain points about where they're making their investments and how they're doing that stuff? And why did you omit that they went over in 2020 when Trump was out of office and Biden came in with the whole EV mandate to then start making the majority of their EVs in China? So why did that happen? Right? So that comes back over to here. So then I started asking questions. And this is just like, you can just keep searching this stuff. They have sold out the American people time and time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
It says it right there. Despite the initial announcement, Ford later reversed its decision and announced in 2017 that it would manufacture its next generation Ford Focus model rather than the United States or Mexico. Like, again, like, it's very simple to see that these people talk out of both sides of their mouth. So if we really believe in America first and MAGA and all these things, we should be getting American first people inside of those executive positions so Americans can never lose their jobs ever again. That's the type of shit that we need. And that's my rant.
There you go. Well, it's true. How about we come back to that this section next week. I want to talk more about this, but we have a few more topics at hand, and we've been almost an hour already. So let's continue on with the next topic. But I appreciate it there, Conserve, because you know what? That's important shit. So basically,
no, I seen him in the chat. He popped that up in the chat. I don't know if you read it, Des, but he popped it up in the chat and was saying he wanted to talk about it.
But it is true. It's one of those things where under Trump, they come, and then once Trump is no longer there, they leave. Yeah, we didn't see this part.
Hopefully they come back.
Let's continue on with the LGTB whatever. North. Are you ready for this one?
Not really, but I'm gonna try.
All right.
Fuck, I swear I wrote this down correctly. Okay. I did write it down correctly. All right. So I came across something, somebody I know, and it was with their kid that's in high school. So you remember how you used to have sex ed, right? And they teach you where to put it, teach you how to put a condom on, shit like that, basic shit. You know, tell you like, hey, you don't put a condom on, your dick might fall off, shit like that. Sorry, I'm getting a little explicit. My bad, Des.
Anthony Edwards must have not got that whole thing, huh?
Oh.
So
they will now.
Now they don't. Okay, so in ninth grade they don't have sex ed anymore. What they have is LGB. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I read this right. LGBTQIA plus lessons. It's a 40-minute lesson. It's only one day, but the point of it is to talk about the history and culture of. I'm not gonna fucking read that shit. Gay people, and to create brave spaces. They're not safe spaces anymore. They're brave spaces, and the importance of identifying pronouns and identities. And this is actually the reason they're doing this is from the Minnesota Humans Act Right, Safe and Supportive Schools Act, and District Policies 102, 508, and 514. The issue is if you look into one of them, I can't remember which one it was. Oh, they updated this one on gender affirming policies and procedures at district schools. Procedures. I think that's very important there. Gender affirming policies and procedures at district schools. This went into effect on September 29th of 2023. This means that you don't give your kids sex ed anymore. You either give them this gay shit, sorry, or no, seriously, I'm gonna tell you right now because I asked him like, so can you opt out of? I know you can opt out of it. He's like, yeah, the opt out is anti-bullying. It's an anti-bullying class. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? They're literally they're what I know. I want to ask all of you. I want each of you to answer me.
I have one question.
Wait, no, stop. What is what?
I and A and all that. I don't even know what that. I could maybe asexual. What's the I?
I don't know. You
Intersex.
asked me.
Oh, it
I'm
probably
curious.
is.
Yeah,
You know, I'm
intersex,
curious. I mean,
intersex and asex. It's intersex and asex, and then plus, and that just means everyone else.
Whatever else crazy stuff you can come up with.
Furries.
No, I swear to God, I looked at the email. It literally says LG. Dude, I looked at the email. It says LGBTQIA plus history and culture lesson.
Holy crap! Did you read this
It's
one?
no, wait. I want each of you to answer me here.
Well,
What the no? Jesus Christ, Des.
did you read
What
the comment?
history?
Okay, yeah. Did you read the comment though? That's
What history? I
Okay.
can't read comments, Des.
Well, there was a lady that said there has been gender affirming policies in schools since 2016 in California.
Okay, but I'm not talking about California, ma'am. I'm talking about Minnesota right now. Thank you. I handle local stuff. But anyway, I just want to ask all three of you, what history, like, how do you teach gay history? What is that? What is that? Can someone please explain that to me?
Eddie?
I
I'm
imagine
seriously
it's got
just
to be similar to
try
like
and do
equal
it.
rights, women's rights, you know, that kind of thing. It's got to be similar to something like that, I imagine.
It's a very good question. It's
You know,
Okay,
now
but
think, no,
okay, that's just right.
wasn't too long
No,
ago
but
we
that
have white and colored bathrooms. You know, maybe there's a history to go with that, and like we're still a pretty young country. You know, women's rights for goodness sakes. I mean, we're still trying to fight
are
for
you really gonna
equality on that.
are you
I
really
mean,
gonna
everybody else,
correlate?
we're still very
Wait. Are you really gonna correlate women's rights to LGBTQIA plus?
I'm just saying it's similar to equality, women's rights. They just want to be known and heard.
They are.
It's not
They
my preference,
literally have
man. I
sex.
mean, I vote for it, but I'm gonna
No,
say, you
sir,
know,
sir, no. I'm gonna stop you right there. When can men and women? What happens if a dude and a chick go have sex in the middle of the street? What happens?
they get arrested for indecent exposure.
Okay, what happens if two
a
gay
lot of
dudes?
people get, you know,
Wait. If I can't talk, I'm gonna get the fuck off. What happens if two gay dudes do it in a parade?
They're powerful. Or look at their beauty and that kind of crap.
That's my point. What's the problem? Why do we need to enforce it if it's already being enforced?
I can agree with you on that.
It's effed
But
up.
maybe some people, you know, kids, you know, just don't know and they just want
I-
to have
hey,
questions. They're, you know, ninth grade. That's
I
still pretty
I
young. I mean, still trying to figure out why ninth grade sex ed. I mean, I think mine was like seventh grade, but maybe we were just way too promiscuous.
well, mine was like seventh grade, but it was sex ed, and dude, we had to watch a woman give birth. Okay, that's like they're
That was
like,
a
this
church
is what
religion class for
happens.
me.
Okay, well, mine was in school, but they're like, this is what happens, and these are the STDs you could get. Like, not, hey, this is how you perform anal sex. This is how you teabag and shit.
Oh man, this one really got off the beaten path. Giggity.
Hey, dude, I'm upset about this. I'm upset about this. I'm upset about this because it's in a local school district. I'm not gonna say which one. It's in a local school district, and they're just fucking doing it. And you could thank Tim Walls for that shit.
Do you have kids that go to that school?
No,
And
not
how does it
speaking on that
affect you?
because it's affecting children around my kids.
And it's still
But you
Okay,
raise your kids to know that that's crazy, right?
yeah, obviously.
Okay. And you don't think your kids will listen to you?
That's not the point.
Well, I mean, if there's kids that have those questions, right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not for making everybody go to it, but these people legitimately think it. And I'll tell you this for everybody. When we look at these other people and we're like, how in the hell can they even think that? Or how can they have that opinion or that point of view? If you were that person, you'd have the same point of view. And you can try to say you wouldn't, right? But if you say you wouldn't, then you don't understand how this works, because if you were them, you would literally be them and have nothing from you. So you would be exactly where they are right now. That's why instead of getting mad at people for being stupid, maybe we should have a little bit of empathy and compassion and be like, hey,
No. I'm disregarding everything. No, I understand what you're saying.
because you're angry and your brain's
No.
not working right now. You're 20% dumber than you normally are. This is all proven, and you can go read about it. There's scientific studies on it. So I'm saying the anger makes you stupid.
But
So
bro,
don't let go of the anger. You don't have to get mad about it, dude. You don't have to get mad about it.
My point is it was already controversial back when we were growing up. It was already controversial for sex ed itself.
Right.
Now we're just talking about anal sex. Come on.
They can talk about whatever they want to talk about. Just teach your kids.
They're fucking pushing it. They're
teach your
pushing
kids.
it.
Talk to your kids.
Okay. So, but
you worry about your kids, not everybody else's.
Okay.
I'll worry about my kid, not everybody else's. We'll all worry about our own shit.
I don't care that everybody. Anyway, so how do you guys feel about them changing it from safe spaces to brave spaces?
Well, I think it's gay as hell. It's like, first and foremost,
it doesn't affect me. I don't know.
Back in the day, we didn't need no safe spaces. Back in the day, people actually had a backbone. Nowadays, people are offended by absolutely everything, which is freaking one of the saddest parts about our freaking civilization. Back in the day, people, the bully, they would actually get in a fight, and then they would become best friends. That's how stuff did back in the day. Nowadays, you look at somebody wrong.
Each other because the kid did this to that kid, and just look back and ate mud, and just like, yep. Jimmy picked me over there by the swing scissors. Hey, just show Jimmy.
Yeah, just go fight after school. Chill the fuck out.
Damn right.
No.
All right, not anymore.
Yeah.
By the way, that is a fantastic segue of getting a fight, become best friends.
Go ahead.
Question for everyone.
I wanted to say one thing though.
This comes from. Okay, go ahead, Conserve.
In support of North, and for what he's saying, he was trying to convey the point that kids should be kids. Kids shouldn't have things thrust upon them, and they just need to just live a normal, regular, active life. From the perspective, Mr. Rogers, we were talking about it last night privately on the phone. You said that you had an incredible childhood, not to brag, but you had loving parents. You learned what you needed to learn. You did what you had to do, and you learned how to be diligent and decent and kind and respectful to everyone around you. You also volunteered your time in the military on active service. So did other members of your family. North, you sitting there raising your kids. Just because certain things happen in your life, that doesn't mean that you're a bad father or anything else like that. You're still raising diligent, decent, responsible, and respectable children. Those are the values that have to come into the household to make sure that the future generations of America know where they're going to be and how they are going to be equally as respectful, if not greater individuals than those that taught them. And that has become a symbol and principle since we had our grandparents teaching us the great values that instilled it into us, that taught our parents, that gave it to us. So if there's going to be a weak link in there, it's these people that don't have this moral capacity to do that great amount of good, to be educators, to be protectors, to be guidance, to give the guidance that they need to make the future of America incredible and pure and just. They're not doing that. So when all these programs are going through, it's causing indoctrination. It's causing confusion. It is causing physical and mental harm at a gravest level that no one can understand, because this becomes a generational standard that no human of any kind or diversity can endure for a future relationship. So that's what I'm trying to say in favor of you, North. From there,
Thank you. I appreciate it. I want to add one more point. Back before they started all this, I'm gonna fuck it, indoctrination. Why were they still gay people?
Because it's accepted. It's okay.
Okay, my point is, why do you need to teach it to them then?
Right. People will eventually learn on their own if and who.
Okay, so why are you putting it in ninth graders' heads?
Because this is this is what I was about to explain now. This is their word war. WORD, war. Okay? The same way that Kamala and the rest of the Dems like to give word salad examples and they just spill out nothingness. They want to cause as much chaos and confusion as possible. And the way that you do that is you keep mixing up the words and the symbology. So no one can track it. So then it becomes just a solid wave of nothingness. And then people will start to learn to accept things as long as it's in the common mainstay. We can't afford that anymore. The same way, you can ask yourself the same question, which is your question, just in the reverse. Why do we have a Black History Month, but no other type of History Month? Why do we have a gay?
I agree with you.
We have an Asian American Heritage Month.
I agree with you on both.
So you can't have one without the other.
Mayo.
So they all claim to want diversity, equity, inclusion, but they are exclusive of everyone else and everything else, because to them, only their ideology matters. And when you have that, it does not create a proper system, because we learned that everybody's equal. It comes from the preamble all the way to the Constitution. All men are created equal. Men also includes women. It doesn't matter. It just means humanity. That's just how they spoke at the time.
All right. Well,
all human rights are
okay.
equal.
Well. Let's do a hypothetical. Can we do a hypothetical?
Sure.
Okay. Every kid in the next generation gets indoctrinated to be gay. What happens?
No reproduction.
What are you saying?
I said if the whole next generation got indoctrinated to be gay, what would happen to what would happen to society? Period.
Depopulation.
Okay.
More women for us?
Yeah.
No, everyone. Well, yeah, the older people, but damn it, y'all fucked it up. A whole generation is just gay.
It would be depopulation.
Right. So that's what it is. It's eugenics rebranded, because they do not want people to repopulate. They feel that there's too many people in the world already.
Yes, because it's way harder to it's eugenics, because it's way harder to brand abortion than it is to brand gay.
Exactly. And that's what they're doing. And then they're forcing out physical castration and harm on people. So because people
are doing it
for themselves, they can't be blamed for it.
I will say this right now. You do that shit as an adult, I don't give a fuck. That's on you.
Hey man, I got a question for you.
Doing that shit to a child, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's child abuse.
I got a question for you about your hypothetical.
Yeah.
Okay.
How often or when, this is in relation to your hypothetical, when was the entire world Christian or Muslim or Jewish? When was everybody in the world any of those? Like all the people in the world were all of those.
Never.
So they've been trying to indoctrinate people into Christianity for 2,000 years. What makes you think in the next 5 to 10 years they're going to indoctrinate anyone that's not already willing and susceptible to it to become gay?
It's not the point of if it could happen. It's not. No. Wait. It's not the point.
Should we stop all religions because they're trying to indoctrinate people?
Can I answer the question, or are we just going to talk over each other?
Okay, go ahead. What's your answer?
It's not the point of can they do it. It's the point that they're trying to do it. That's the point.
Okay, right. So religions, now do them.
What about them?
Why shouldn't we stop all of them? Because they're indoctrinating people into certain beliefs that aren't 100% true.
We should.
So we should stop all religions as well.
I agree.
I didn't say that.
But that's, I mean, that because that's what the LGBTQAI plus whatever it is a religion.
Okay, well
that's what it is.
Okay, so is it.
So they're
so
pushing
is
their
it-
religion.
Okay, well, so is the
That's
far
what
left
religion
party.
is. It's an ideology.
The far left party is a religion too. Are we gonna? Well, what are we gonna do about them?
So is MAGA.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Once we go down the road of we need to stop this and you can't say
Okay,
this,
but
and they
do
shouldn't
you
teach
do
this,
you
or they
okay? But
shouldn't teach that.
do you honestly think you should be teaching ninth graders about how to have gay sex?
Why not?
Okay, well, I have. There's proof that there
Sex
was
seems to be
one
like everybody's
dude. There was
big
a
thing.
teacher, bro. There was a teacher showing kids in high school how to use Grinder.
Okay.
What is
Okay,
a Grindr?
Grinder is a gay gay hookup site,
Okay.
and he's encouraging minors to get on this website. Maybe think about that part.
Okay.
Whatever, I don't fucking care.
No, so
Devil's
I agree.
advocate, everybody. I love this.
I agree with you on why. So if you can have Congress come out right now and say that every single porn website and any type of AI that will create any type of digital porn or affix faces onto pornographic images of political party members, et cetera, you must have an 18 years old or older click funnel portal to make sure that you can get in and verify the site and you can do all this other stuff. So if they have the common understanding, and again, not to throw you under the bus here, Mr. Rogers, I'm just using your name for the purpose. If Mr. Rogers can go ahead at 18 years of age and sign up to serve in the military, go into basic training, learn how to use a firearm, learn respect, decency, and all this other stuff, and serve his country and go immediately to the battlefield at 18 years of age.
Uh-huh.
You can't drink until you're 21, can't buy cigarettes until you're 21. So they understand things that impair the mind. You must have adult and individual consent from a specified age range. Sexual activity is adult activities. You can look at any single store that's out there. They all say adult stores. So
What
coming
did I
from the
say?
understanding that between 18 and 21, you start to step into adulthood. 9 years old would be half of 18, which would make it automatically exempt from any passage. So there's no quantifiable way that anybody can make
grade or 9 years old.
that a 9 years old child should learn sexual acts.
I'm literally talking about children. I'm not talking about 18-year-olds.
Dude, you didn't hear what I just said. I said there's no
he was saying
conceivable
kids
way
in school
that a 9-year-old child
under
could
18.
ever consent to learning or administering a sexual act because they're 9 years less than the minimum required age to even view porn from a federal level.
Who came up with those rules?
Is the lawmakers.
Fiber optics. If you
People
had
make
dial-up,
up
you don't
all
have
these
patience
rules,
with those
guys.
kids anymore. Those kids would give up if they had dial-up right now.
You want my
Those
opinion, there should be
things,
10
you turn it
laws,
down,
and
blah,
they
blah,
call
blah.
them the 10
Screw
Commandments.
this ADD. I'm open the door. I'm eating Betty.
Hey,
But the whole point is,
Okay, but you're talking about age of consent and shit.
shouldn't be
So
entering into
don't do it till they're 18.
consent.
They can do it when they're 18. I don't care. That's not my
Great.
problem at that point.
all we're doing is circling around right now. Let's go to the North. You were the one that with the question.
Skip that shit.
Okay, we're just gonna skip it because we're already at
Wait, what?
hour and 20 minutes in. Let's just go. Let's do these three next week. We can. I just want to go to the main one for tonight. In case you guys were not aware.
Yeah, Dez, do you actually have a segment?
I actually do. I actually
Sorry.
did a small thing actually over the weekend. I'm talking about Never Trumpers for the main thing. So Bill Maher, a guy that's a Never Trumper, every chance he gets, he will turn Trump, inside out, whatever you want to call it. he went visited Trump this past Sunday. Kid Rock actually had an interview on Fox. He was the one. He was the one that called Trump to get Bill Maher to see if Bill Maher would actually go to see him at the White House. And actually, the way it sounded, they actually had a pretty good meal. So to me, that's actually a step in the right direction. But Kid Rock was talking about it, and when it comes down to it, they were talking about stuff that they could actually agree on. And that, to me, that was actually pretty awesome. They were talking about like a little bit about tariffs, but not so much. But a cancel culture, that was a big one. Bill Maher is actually against cancel culture, which is actually pretty impressive. Well, let's be honest, he'd be canceled many times over because some of the shit he's actually talked about. So before we continue on about the Never Trumpers, JD Vance was a Never Trumper early on, and now he's of course the vice president, the VP. So just because you're a Never Trumper doesn't mean we won't actually allow you on part of the team. Believe it or not, we don't actually just believe in that bullshit of
I mean, like half of Trump's team is ex-Democrats, anyways.
That is very true. That's the greatest thing about Trumpers. And when you guys said MAGA, it's kind of like a cult. The extreme parts they are. I'll agree with that. The extreme. I'm more so. Yes, I'm MAGA, but I'm not that extreme. Hell, I'm not even wearing my Trump stuff anymore. Once Trump won.
I said Trump. Daz ain't running out to no fucking rally and shit. So
I did go when they were in St. Cloud. But
well, yeah, but you ain't about to go do some crazy shit.
Oh, exactly. The fact is, to the Never Trumpers out there, I actually have a list of them. Actually, I actually did a little research. I want to talk about these little buggers.
All right, let's go.
Okay, Never Trumpers: Robert De Niro, Rosie O'Donnell, MSNBC, and CNN. I just used the whole freaking network because everything about them hates Trump. Miley Cyrus, exactly. Miley Cyrus, Chris Evans, George Clooney, Will Smith, Christine Stewart, Samuel L. Jackson, Cher, George Lopez, Pope Francis even was one of them. I just have some of them might have changed by now, after the fact of depending upon what Trump's done, because like what the hell's his name? A rapper. Snoop Dogg hated Trump. But now he's actually, I'm not saying a bandwagoner, but he's actually on our side, which is, to me, I was never a Snoop Dogger, but now I'm like, Snoop Doggy Dog. He's my dog now. I'm saying
these people are watching their bottom line. That's what the fuck's going on here.
Well, the thing about it is, if that's the case, like Eminem, drawing the sand on the bottom line, how about you don't talk about Trump at all? Because why would you want to piss off half of the people? These people must have a lot of money saved up if they don't give a shit. I haven't been to a movie since 2015 when they started bashing Trump because, oh, Orange Man bad. What upsets me about this whole thing is he might be an ass, but he's our ass. That's how I always look at it. Bill Maher was there on Sunday. He said that it was actually a lot better than he thought it was going to be. They actually had a good time breaking bread, as they say. The fact is, the reason why so many people do not want to actually give Trump a chance is because if they would give him a chance, if some of these Hollywood elites would actually go to see him, they might actually have to bite the bullet and say, damn, he is actually not as bad as what I thought he was. That is what I hate about the left when it comes to the Never Trumpers and to the rhinos. The fact is, if you would actually just give him a chance, actually bullshit with him once, I can guarantee you a lot of them would actually be like, well, son of a gun, this is what we were scared of because they listen to MSNBC, because they listen to CNN, because Hollywood elites said, oh, Orange Man bad, so he must be that bad. And that's what pisses me off about Never Trumpers. I could go on for actually an hour about this, but I'm not. What is your guys' thoughts? Okay, Eddie, editor.
I just have a question for you, Des.
What's that?
What would you say to all the people on the left that would counter you with, well, if you were to meet some of these Never Trumpers in person and sit down and have a real conversation with them, you would probably love them too.
Well, the fact is, us MAGA people are actually a lot more accepting. You know that's true there, Eddie, the editor. It's like we are more accepting on this side. There was people.
Dad,
Wait.
Dad,
Let me finish. There was people at rallies and at Trump rallies, and there was never Trumpers there. And they saw how the MAGA people were, and they're like, you guys are actually pretty cool. It's like, duh, we're rednecks. We like our American flag. We like our pew-pews. Pew-pew. We like fireworks. We actually love the national anthem and the Star-Spangled Banner. Hey, assholes, we actually love you. But the way you act, not so much, because you want to burn everything down. Well, okay, North, what's up?
I just have a question for Eddie, the editor. When did you become a Democrat? I'm just curious.
I don't label myself a Democrat or a Republican or any politically affiliated party. My views are a little bit more nuanced than let me throw myself on this team or that team.
Wait. I agree with you because I don't either. So I agree with you on that. But so when did you start like just going like left? Okay, how about this? When did you start going left of Dez? How's that? Is that better?
I've always been left of Dez.
Oh, okay.
Like far left of Dez. Like
you just left,
I'm an extremist on the left compared to him.
You just left Daz in the dust, huh? He's just looking at brake lights and shit.
Where the hell is he?
Yeah, I mean, him and I politically don't really see eye to eye at all.
That's cool. I'm working around, dude.
A lot of my friends are the same way.
But we're still
there's a lot that are hardcore Democrat, that are hardcore Republican, like Dale. I'm just kind of moderate with conservative views, but I see both sides as much as I can. I want to learn what their viewpoints are, so I can respect my viewpoints, and that's what life's about. Like learning, maybe you were growing up a different way and learning different things about different people. Your attitude's going to change, just like your taste buds. Your taste buds change over time. It doesn't mean your opinion can't.
Right.
Well, hell,
that's true.
There's a
I
reason
agree with that.
on our old YouTube channel, the left, right, everything between. You were always the devil's advocate. You were always like, I could never do that. But you always did it on there, and it was actually pretty damn entertaining. I do actually once in a while watch those episodes once in a while. They're Mr. Rogers. I do once in a while watch them.
Good times.
No, see, this is what I was talking to you about how the Instagram shit falling off, because we need a contrarian. Everything is always, hey, this guy said this. I agree with that. So do I. All right.
Exactly.
It's just like, what the fuck did we just talk about? Nothing. No,
you guys just had a big old circle jerk.
I found ways though too, and we had good arguments for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And I always I have to defend, so I was a left, right, everything in between. Yeah, I am a moderate with conservative views, but I don't want to fight for the Democrats or any liberals or anything on that side with different opinions. Like this is why they're thinking maybe the way they are, and that's why I researched the way they were. Why they maybe feel like that.
That's good. No, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you up. No, that's good for you though, dude. That just shows you.
I was just trying to give a view of maybe where they were coming from, and just so we weren't just being one-sided. But yeah, I'm not
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Exactly. No, dude, that's good. You're being empathetic. That's actually really good. That's a good quality. Seriously, I'm not even like being like talking shit or nothing. Seriously, that's a good quality.
Oh man. So, Sir, did you want anything to the Never Trumpers thing?
So what did we leave off?
Well, it's about having the understanding that, like Mr. Rogers just said, it's about understanding that people can have a difference of opinion but still get along. It's about understanding that we are all people at the end of the day, and this is called the United States of America for a reason. We all came here to create a better life, a better culture. We came to create a different style of governance, a way of life. Whether it doesn't matter what religion you are, color, creed, anything. It's about coming together and saying that we are a people of this land and we make it better for ourselves and anyone else that wishes to come here. It was about that style of unity. For whatever reason, in the name of democracy, where it's about majority rule and giving the people a voice and making sure that there's fair and equal representation across the board, the current Democrat Party and the left has abandoned those principles and went to the far end. So if you picture politics as a U or a horseshoe, the far ends of the poles, that's where like the stuff that no one considers is at. If you look at the middle bend of the horseshoe, that's pretty much where the majority of people are at. Like 90% of all people, they sit only at the top of the U bend. The second you start falling off the rounded part, goodbye. Like you're just gone. But that is a small fringe element. So you're talking about maybe 1 to 5% of the total general population that's there. But because they're so loud, because they're obnoxious, and what sells? Sex and scandal. That's all the news and mainstream media wants to put out there. That's all they want to do. It's all about sensationalism. So it has nothing to do with the American people want. It has to deal with what they want to be sensational. And now in a day and age where everything is sensational because you have Instagram ass models, and then you also have people wrangling weird stuff in the Everglades and eating it, right?
Yeah, man.
Everything is about sensationalism. But we have lost our humanity along that way. We have lost our ability to say, yes, I may have a different opinion than you, but let's go have a bite to eat and maybe we can talk it out. Maybe we can have some understanding. By the way, you want to go meet up for basketball next weekend and like you're still on the team, right? Like just because I have a difference of opinion than you, that doesn't mean I don't get along with you. They have wanted civil discourse. This is the version of color war. They want to do this. It's a military grade style apparatus that is designed to
military grade sucks, so we already established that.
Yeah.
No, it's squeaky. It's a squeaky. No, dude, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, bro. That's it.
Sure,
that's it.
Look at AOC.
There. I just said everything you just said in one sentence. The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Sure.
Them motherfuckers loud as hell. They burn shit and they won't shut the fuck up. So we gotta do something to shut them up. That's exactly what's going on here. Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Oh man, it's so true.
Well,
let's be 100% honest. Conservatives don't do shit. They shut the fuck up when there is riots. They're like, oh, we gotta let them burn all their own shit down. Ha ha ha! They're burning their own shit down, not realizing like, yeah, that still fucks the economy up, you dumbass. And just like none of the shit makes sense. All right. And
because they're all about like you said, it's all about the damage, but to support their ideology. So the damage is only about, well, I can go ahead and I can loot and burn down stores, but there's the insurance companies and the insurance companies will pay for all of it. So that's what gives me justification for doing it. They don't think about
they won't. I will tell you right fucking now. I know for a fact some of the buildings that got burnt down, some of the businesses that got burnt down during the George Floyd riots in 2020.
Summer of Love.
Them motherfuckers couldn't rebuild because they had to pay the fucking city to demolish the shit, but they could only pay a certain contractor because that was contracted through the city. It was a whole fucking Ponzi scheme, or not a Ponzi scheme. It was money. It was money laundering.
It is, but that it's called racketeering. But yes,
racket, whatever. I probably said that fucked up. You're right.
No, you're fine. It's just this is what their style and brand is, and it's always been that way. But
that's what it is.
To go to Eddie's point and to Mr. Rogers' point, just because they're wearing a particular symbol on their chest and it says, "Oh, one's a Democrat, one's a Republican," it's still a uniparty ideology that is causing this great divide and that is causing the harm to the individual person because they do not give a shit about we the people. The first founding of our documentation says who we are, we the people. It doesn't say we the politicians. It doesn't say we the elite. It doesn't say we the aristocracy. It says we the people. And because they choose to go ahead and look through this simplified lens of saying, I'm a donkey, I'm an elephant. By the way, we're two sides of the same coin here. Since we have the coin, we have the money, we hold the control, we hold the power. We get to tell you what to do.
But I want to say something.
People stood.
I want to say something. When they always say that Republicans and Democrats are the wing of the same bird, I say bullshit on that. One side of the wing, one side of the bird is actually for killing a baby in the womb all the way to the day the baby's born, and wants to take away your guns, wants to take away your freedom of speech. The other side wants to defend your families, wants a border wall, wants all this stuff, pro America. They're not the same. And when people say it's
who allowed them to do it?
Who to
if
do
you have
what?
two opposing parties and one party believes in one thing and the other party believes in the other, who allowed them to do it? If there was opposition, then it wouldn't be allowed. So for the example, just to make it easier on you, we had the first Republican president as Abraham Lincoln.
Yep.
We had the abolitionists. There was no such thing as a Republican back then until Lincoln came in. The abolitionists and the Federalists fought against the Democrats or the Democrat-Republican Party because they still wanted slavery. We fought the bloodiest war in American history to end slavery, to abolish slavery. So if murdering kids in the womb is bad, and everybody agrees that it's bad, why is no one doing the same thing to stop it? Because it's two sides of the same coin. They don't give a shit. They all profit from it. And because they are able to sell out we the people every single time and make money until someone stands up, that's what will happen. Go North.
I was going to say, if you could bring up Abraham Lincoln, I mean, he was the one who literally abolished the Constitution for a little bit and just locked up a whole bunch of people for with no prosecution, no nothing. He just locked them the fuck up. He let them go eventually, but he still did it. He abolished all, the whole right to due process and all that shit. He abolished all that shit and locked everybody the fuck up. Everybody everybody from the South, he locked everyone up in prison. So
they must have some pretty crowded prisons.
Yeah, like I said, he eventually just said fuck it and let him out. No, not every single person, but the people that was in
Mason-Dixon line.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm just gonna let y'all talk because I can't speak evidently.
Okay, I think we're gonna end this one for the night. It's actually an hour and 40 minutes in. I'm actually pretty impressed. We beat our own record. You guys wanna say anything? Do your plugins?
Mr. Rogers, you guys take it easy. If you got any notes, let us know. If you want a topic talked about, let us know. Take care. Mr. Rogers out.
North?
You can holler at me on Instagram at northpolar_bear on Instagram. Like Mr. Rogers said, please send comments about any topics you guys want us to talk about.
Conserve?
Just conserve reality. I'm here to just keep everything as practical as I can to protect our reality in which it sits. My socials are up on the screen. You can catch me on different podcasts there. Any type of social that you want to tag me on, feel free. I'm all over the place. So any topic that you want to talk about or any topic that you wish to discuss in any way that you want to be more informed, let me know. Happy to bring it up.
Okay, we had 3 topics that we didn't finish with, but we will add them for next week. One of those things where we got a little bit winded with a few things tonight. But once again, I love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Until next Thursday, 7:30 Central Time. Peace out. And like always, happy holidays.